G'day everyone. Barkarati is now brought to you by Disruptor Marine Marketing, using AI to help your marine business grow. And our friends at Radix Nutrition, the most technically comprehensive nutrition products ever to exist. Unlock your potential with Radix. G'day listeners, welcome to Barkarati the Sailing Podcast. My name's Jordan Spencer and it's that time of the week where we get to hang out with some really cool sailors, but of course have to share the mic with my two idiot mates. First off, let's welcome Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, exalted one.
The week of BP, you've been celebrating your birthday, mate. You have a good time?
Yeah, it hasn't stopped, I can tell you.
Oh, that's cool.
All good. Now coming to you from Mid-Coast Boatyard. Big plug to shout out to Jodie Cock. But the funny thing is here, Australia has always known for people to pick up older boats. But would you believe that the TP52 number 2 and number 3 are here, which is Jaybird and V5?
Yeah,
Quite an interesting thing. And I'm sitting under IC37 number 2 or something. So, it's kind of strange.
You know why they do that, BP? Because us Aussies, we can't count past. We can't count too high. We have to use our fingers, and most of us at time in a boatyard, you're missing one or two fingers, so you can't go above 3. That's what it is.
Yeah, I thought it was more that they're just unable to spend lots of money, so they just get cheap boats.
Just leave the funny shit to me, mate.
As soon as I said it, I thought it's a fail. But anyway, I'll bring in the other bloke so we can be a quality operation. Hang on.
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
Mr. Nick Bice, sorry, mate, we were up to your standard.
Definitely quality. I'm taking a leaf out of your book here, BP.
Yeah, I know. Noticed.
Current location, back seat of the Kia Carnival.
Oh, lovely.
Coming live. These are headrests here, Jordan. I know it looks like an office.
It's amazing.
And it basically is. Mate, the Carnival's getting more airtime than the Defender these days.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Got to say to you, it's quite comfortable sitting.
It'll be the next trend behind the Crocs, the Rainbows and the Defenders. Oh. So everyone will be getting a Carnival.
Boys, I've got some stories based.
Nah.
I had dinner last night with friends. I'll come back to it later on in the show. But there's Croc stories. There's all sorts of bits involved in it. But a fun night last night. Just for everyone, we're recording. What is it? Friday. It's like 3 in the morning.
Friday morning.
Yeah. SailGP.
3 a.m. You're in Frio.
Yeah.
Ready to go for the big Grand Prix of sailing.
Yeah. The excitement is palpable. People are fired up.
Ooh, geez, that's a big word for 3 in the morning.
It was hard to pronounce. Anyway, I think we should bring our guest on board, and then we can go into all that other stuff. We've got a good conversation today because there's a heap going on in the world, and one part of the world in the US, there's plenty going on, and one thing is our friends from American Magic, who obviously we heavily involved with. We had a lot of conversations about their America's Cup team. We see the TP52, and there's lots of changes going on there. But one of the big changes is they had that announcement of their new high performance centre in Pensacola, which is going to be doing some amazing stuff, tied in with SailGP. There's all sorts to find out there. I think the US Olympics are going to be tied into it. There's a lot going on, and we wanted to understand a bit more. So we reached out to the Chief Operating Officer of American Magic, a long-time friend of the show, and has appeared on the show once before, episode 177 from memory. So it was time for a catch-up.
Off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, yep. So we'll bring him back on. It's good to speak to our young friend Tyson Lamond. How are you, bro?
I'm great, thanks, and thank you guys for having me. I got to say, every time I come on this show, it brings back so many memories. Chatting with a group of South Australians.
The CYC.
I missed the last time you were on the show, Tyson, but I just remember the CYC Open days, the 11-year-old running around, bloody having a ball.
Burn him.
I think I probably used to drink more back then than I do now, BP. Actually, I know that.
It's all good.
Yeah.
But thanks, guys, for having me on. I love listening to the show, and I've got to say, every year the Sydney to Hobart, I do not miss a show. it's probably the one that I listen to the most. But it's always good to listen to you guys' perspective on the sport.
Perspective, I love it. You've become so sophisticated, Tice, as you've got older. It's great to see, mate. And obviously, you have been busy. Your role with American Magic, you've been busy the last, let's call it, year or two, because we've had the big announcement. We saw the TP team saying that was done. We saw you're not doing the America's Cup, and it was like, wow, what's going on? And now you've bounced back with this this big announcement. We're very intrigued. How have you got to this place, mate? There must have been some discussions.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, and I think back to when this team was founded, it was always founded around the goal of we want to win and we want to grow the sport of sailing. And when you think back through everything that the team did in the America's Cup. And obviously it was a great experience for, Roger, Hap and Doug. But at the same time, it was, okay, let's make sure that we're chipping off the goals, which is obviously to grow the sport and to bring manufacturing boats back to the United States. And really in 2022, we met with the city of Pensacola and the state of Florida and sort of pitched, what we were trying to do. And we got good momentum and we got the project started. But, as most people know that, to build large facilities like this, it takes a long time to get them off the ground and get them done. And obviously this building was getting planned and built while we were in Spain. And the last year has obviously been, a lot of the visual progress, shall we say, on the job. And we're very fortunate to get to a position that we're able to open it last week. We had 475 guests come in, and we officially opened the American Magic high performance facility. And a lot of people say, okay, well, what is it? What are you guys doing there? And we look at it as it's a one-stop shop. So, whether it be the design side of the team, the manufacturing side of the team, or the sailing side of the team, we can do anything within this building. And we feel very fortunate to have it here in Pensacola, and we've had amazing support. And ultimately, what are we trying to do? We want to make sure that we're growing the sport of sailing, and it doesn't bother us if it's foiling sailing, non-foiling sailing like we all grew up doing. The America's Cup, SailGP, Olympic sailing. We want to make sure that we're growing the sport, across
Rainbows.
the whole sport, and we're giving rainbows, Sharpies, and we're giving people opportunity to come in and be involved in an organisation like this.
Mm.
It is a very.
So what's that actually mean as far as a footprint and facility? We saw all the nice photos of when the guests were inside the building, all the gym facilities, all those sorts of things. But I'm guessing there's a whole lot more attached to that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So the ground floor is 56,000 square feet, and then the mezz level where I am up here with our offices is 20,000 square feet. And upstairs in the offices, obviously, we have normal offices as you would in a building like this, but obviously we have our simulation, debrief, and performance rooms that are really catered towards sailing. And in our simulation room, obviously we have America's Cup style simulators, but also we announced a really exciting partnership, obviously for our organization, but also for the sport, with SailGP. So a big part of it here will be setting up a SailGP simulator here and opening our doors for all the teams to be able to train in between events. And hopefully by doing that, we raise the bar across that fleet, which, I'm sure all of us watch it and we'll think it's great to watch. And I think being able to have those teams here in Pensacola, sailing out on the bay, training in the gym, debriefing upstairs in our debrief facility, or using the sim will be amazing.
Mm.
I can say there has been a large amount of discussion around that from a SailGP perspective from the teams and so forth, and because SailGP are trying to, you've got to get a skipper's license to sail SailGP now, and so to bring on new sailors and new teams, they don't want to try and do it in and around racing, and so this whole setup with American Magic is viewed as their big pathway to that development. So if you're looking to get into SailGP, for example, then you don't have to try and beg and get onto a yacht. You can actually go and do all this training. That, as you said, Tyson, the teams can train between events, which has always been an issue that they haven't been able to do. You get like a day or two of training, and as we've seen the last couple of days here in Western Australia, you know, when you're rejigging teams, they're doing their first sail together, like on 2 days before they start racing the whole season, and so that has been the whole this facility and the partnership with SailGP has been a massive conversation that's been going on for SailGP as far as I can see.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be a lot of benefit to it. Like, ultimately, SailGP have done such a good job, and they've got so much traction now that it becomes a logistical nightmare. Like, to move those boats and teams around the world, and to be able to give guys opportunity to get out and sail so that you can raise the bar and get all the teams, shall we say, up to the British level. These guys need time in the boat. And so being able to have a facility here that will have an F50 living and managed and always ready to go for when teams book a slot, I think will be amazing. And, if you said to me, well, what's our goal out of it? Our goal ultimately is to bring the new teams up to the top. And if, teams can come through here and be able to watch, the techniques that other teams are doing, I think that's one of the beauties of SailGP is that it's a shared data. So they can all go away and look at the data, but do they then have the time to go out in the water and say, okay, we're going to do 5 tacks and we're going to try tack like GBR does, or we're going to try tack like Australia does, or Jibes, or whatever that may be. But the racing schedule is so compressed, understandably, because of the logistics schedule to get them around the world. And so I think what we're opening up here is an opportunity for teams to be able to try things and to also bring new sailors on. Like, we'll remember when we were all young kids, you want to get an opportunity, but it's hard for somebody to give you an opportunity if you only have a short window around a regatta. So I think it's going to be great for the sport, and obviously great for the events, and obviously, great for the city of Pensacola and what we're doing here.
So you're going to have an F50 ready to roll, basically, as well as the sim.
Yep. So we'll from September, we'll have an F50 sitting here ready to go, and we will manage the service of that boat, and we'll have a team staff with that, and the teams will be able to book slots through the league and come out here and go sailing.
I feel, gents, stop me now. There's a bar karate track day coming up in Pensacola.
There is.
We're hiring the F50 for the day. Going for a few hot laps. Bring her in geese. Just give her a little tweak here, tweak there. Sweet as.
Yeah, all over. We had a bit of a chat to Dill about it last week about how we should look at this sort of performance aspect, and I think it's manageable, Bossy.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Hey, just back to the 23% of seriousness. It's all. There's a point we're sort of missing here as well, and it comes down probably a perfect example of what happened the other day. We've got new teams coming together, and injuries are going to be are definitely a part of this. And we saw something pretty wild the other day, and new teams getting together. This is an opportunity to sort of make it a safer platform as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys know you all grew up around the water like I did, and ultimately it's time on the water and getting to know your craft and the people around you. So the more that you can be out there and you can be comfortable across the wind range, the better you're going to be and the safer it's going to be.
Is there any manufacturing element to the whole facility as well? So, like, are you doing repairs? Are you building boats in there? You said in your intro about manufacturing in the US, and I'm pretty certain that there's some major projects going to go on. And SailGP seems to have the problem is that we keep breaking stuff before we can build new boats. So, I just wonder, is that part of the program?
Yeah, so absolutely. The manufacturing side of our team is a big part of the team, and we're currently doing a lot of aerospace and maritime projects. With SailGP, we look at the partnership of how can we help them deliver a product. So ultimately, if they need help from the manufacturing side of the team, we'll step in and we'll help them as much or as little as they need, because we want to make sure that the product's as good as it can be for the sport of sailing.
And that's also going to extend past the outside of SailGP too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we are working for some private owner teams here and manufacturing parts and project managing boats all here out of Pensacola at the moment. And, are we going to be your typical boatyard that everybody's calling up? No. But are we going to be your boatyard that, build high-end, high-performance boats, for the right clients? Absolutely, we will. And I feel like the industry's in a pretty good position right now, and we've got some amazing boats on the water that, you look at what's coming out the shed, and I don't know, I keep looking at photos of this Gitana that came out recently, and it's just like, oh my God, isn't the sport in such a great spot?
That's a cool boat. That's a cool boat.
Did I mention the mast on? No.
Maybe you didn't, Guy. Why don't you?
We're saving it for the big release, the big press release.
One thing that I do wonder for both you, Tyson and Bice, the show, you boys are in deep in two pretty important companies in the world of sailing. How do you develop? Do they have a training course for how you can talk in the public like this, where you don't give away any secrets? There's so much you must know. How do you go through that process?
I think we learn it at the bar at the CYC in Adelaide, mate.
That's why we do podcasts at 6 a.m. in the morning. 10 p.m. at night might be a different story.
But I guess, Jordan, I think that's the beauty of our sport right now, and there's so many cool things happening, and there's so many announcements going on, and obviously, we've got the America's Cup, we've got SailGP, we've got Olympic programs, and we've got private owner boats, and I genuinely think that across the border, then people will be involved in different pockets of the sport, but making sure that each one of those pockets has its time to speak, and I think that's a big part about it, and making sure that every avenue that you're involved in gets the right attention at the right time.
Yeah. I saw when I was looking through the announcement, I was intrigued with the US Olympic side. There was when I actually go to the announcement, you talk about the involvement with American One Racing and their women's and youth programs, but also US Olympic sailing pathway. So what's going on there? Are the US going to have a special advantage, now that they're going to partner up with you guys, where they can do all this training or develop new sailors that way? Is that what's going on?
So we've got a very close relationship with A1R Racing. A1R was actually the first guest to come through this building. They came in a week after we had our temporary occupancy, and they were training in the gym and using our coaching rooms upstairs. And, we're committed to helping them and their athletes as much as we can throughout their Olympic period. There's actually a group here this week. It's cold and windy outside, so a bunch of WASP sailors actually gearing up. But this facility absolutely will be used to support that. Once we get our docks in out the front, there will be a dinghy ramp, so boats will be able to wheel up to this facility and go sailing. And whatever we can do here to help them on their journey, the better we'll do, and the better that they will do while racing. So there's definitely an element of that to it. And our goal really is for them to do as much of their winter sailing here in Pensacola as possible, knowing that they're gearing up for an Olympics.
And Pensacola as a sailing venue, there's obviously some of the GL52 regattas down there, but it's not massively on the hit list. But I'm assuming the sailing conditions, like you guys didn't choose to go there for no reason, right, with the cup team? Like it's got the backbone for sure.
Absolutely, and it's only growing. The WASP Worlds are here, ran out of Pensacola Yacht Club in March. We've got two GL regattas, one in March, one in April. The Swan 28s are racing here. I'm going to get it wrong, but I believe it's end of March and in April. So there's a lot of events coming here, and you look at this bay, like the bay is perfect for it. Although in winter it does get quite cold, and today outside it's probably 22 knots out of the north. But the sailing, through March, April, May, when you get into that southwester sea breeze, it's perfect. And the GLs came here last year, and the first regatta they raced in the Northerly on the first day, and they were racing 20 knots flat water, and all the guys got off the water and were so excited about sailing in the bay here, and also the support of the local community. Like, they've really embraced the team and the sport of sailing here, and I can see sailing continue to grow here.
Mate, it almost sounds a bit like Port Lincoln.
Yeah, it's got definite similarities, boys.
Yeah.
So
that's cool, man. I like it.
Before we go further into the American Magic stuff, I do have to ask, buddy. You've been a busy man since we saw you, as BP alluded to, as a little 11-year-old running around. You've got a family, you've got your own kids, you've got all this project with American Magic, all the work that you've got to do. Do you get to sail much yourself these days?
Not enough. Actually, we're project managing a really cool boat right now called a PB72, which is a foiling private owner offshore catamaran. And, Bicey is actually involved with it through Southern Spars. And it's been such a cool project because the owner had a vision that he wanted America's Cup technology with a luxury interior. And I actually went sailing, must have been 2 weeks before Christmas. We're sailing along out there on the bay, and we're sailing in 12 knots of air, and we're just sitting on 27 knots in this thing. And remember, the boat weighs 22 ton, I think. And Jordan, I remember getting off it at the end of the day and like, guys, you got to let me out the office more. This was awesome. Like, why do you guys get to go sailing on this thing every day? This is so much fun. So Jordan, not as much as I would like, but every now and then I get to get out, and I have to say that the technology out there right now and the boats that the guys are whipping around in are so cool. And I feel like the sport is in such a good position.
So the owner of that boat, he didn't go for the Patriot with the nice interior, as in your cup boat?
Yeah, it's a little bit different, and the colours are a bit different. But actually, I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but Morelli Melvin, who designed that boat, and Ferdinand Van West and Pete Melvin did an amazing job. They actually released some videos this week, which we'll release some more in the next few weeks. But what a cool
if anyone sees a
boat.
green cat that looks like it's doing 27 knots in flat water, that's the one.
Yeah, well, it would be a fantastic Adelaide to Port Lincoln race.
Oh, mate. I'm calling the owner now. Post-transpac.
You'd be there for dinner.
You'd have to run real wide of dangerous reef, because I tell you guys, the foils stick a long way out.
Wow.
But it would be a weapon.
Wouldn't want to get in a laughing duel with wild oats, is what you're trying to tell me. You'd have to.
You'd roll them pretty quickly.
Wow. Now this goes.
Just imagine parking the boat in Port Lincoln next to the fishing dock there at the bar, and parking it out the front, take up a whole waterway.
Cool.
That's what comes back to that sort of question I made a few minutes ago about, part of your job is when you're creating these new things, you can't talk about this sort of stuff. It must be difficult. There's so many amazing projects that you're working on, and you have to wait.
Fishing, Tyson.
You have to wait till it comes out of the.
Be careful.
You have to wait till it gets into the public eye before you can talk about it. It must be. I don't know how you do it. Like you'd almost like you'd need sort of security clearance. So you don't release secrets.
I guess that's the good thing of coming up through the America's Cup. You've always got a foil or a boat hidden in the shed that you hope is the one, and you can't talk about it at the time. But I think that's the cool thing about innovation in our sport is there's always development, in every angle of the sport. And it doesn't matter if it's, in a SailGP boat, an Olympic class boat, or in a boat like a PB72. There's always something going on in the background being tinkered away on or developed. And that's what I love about the sport is the development.
No, the coolest thing here for me, I think, let's say 20, 30 years ago, the US were the leaders in composite boat building. And that, the Goetzes, the Carroll Marines, all those sorts of things, building cup boats, all those sorts of things. And that kind of not only America, but kind of worldwide has diminished quite a bit. There's still some notable ones, obviously, like the Persicos and Kings and those guys, but the bringing the manufacturing back to the US. Is there a big MAGA flag just hanging on the side of the building?
We actually haven't put any of the branding up on the building yet.
Did the Don come to the opening?
We were well represented at the opening, but no, the president wasn't here. But you're dead right. Like, a lot of it is about, bringing manufacturing back, and we're very fortunate. Our lead composite technician, Brandon Linton, who a lot of people know, obviously has built a lot of notable boats around the world over the years. He manages that side of it, and he's sort of second to none, and his attention to detail is amazing. And obviously he's sort of cut his teeth and grew up doing that in Sydney. But we feel very fortunate, and we've got some exciting projects that we're working on in the background right now that I hope go ahead, and I think you'll see some really cool boats coming out of here.
Bloody
Is it a little bit of an Australian infiltration with that? You just said, Brendan, obviously coming from Australia. Are we trying to get in there and just make it Australian?
Well, we have a few Australians here. We have a bit of Australian connection. But our team, to be fair, since we've got back to Pensacola, obviously we have a lot of our core people that have been with us for a long time. But a big part of what we're doing, is the workforce development programs with the local community, and that whether with University of West Florida, Pensacola State College, but ultimately we need these pipelines to keep our industry growing. And Bicey talks back to, okay, well, you don't have these yards anymore. It's because the yards dried up at some time and didn't have the work, and then we lost all these skilled tradesmen. And I think that's something that we've seen across the board. And every time we try to spark up a campaign again, one of the toughest things was, okay, we've got to get the gang back together. And so being able to be in a position that we can take on various projects across multiple industries, and to be able to build out the next generation, shall we say, of Brandon Lintons, I think is quite a cool thing, because the sport needs it. We've got so many owners around the world that are looking for a boat that suits them, but they need enough yards. And let's be honest, a lot of the yards moved to Asia over the last 15 years, and that was sort of an attraction due to the price point. But I think now that's starting to shift back, and so for us to be able to have a facility in the United States that people can build boats, they can come down, it's a world-class facility, I think will be quite appealing to a lot of owners.
Do you have the 12th man playing the whole time?
Yep. Welcome back.
You're going to laugh at me. A terrible Australian. I can't remember the last time I listened to it.
Oh, it's been a while. I haven't listened to it for a long time. Everyone,
I'm getting Toby into it. Toby loves it.
I can see Vicey and BP listening to it, George.
Oh, mate. How do you think?
Actually, we might have to cut this short. Actually, we got some listening to
guys. I know it's you guys' show, and I'm just the guest today. But right. Can I ask a question? Obviously, I love following South Australian sailing, and whether it be the 505s, watching my good mate Sandy win last year, or the Sharpies. And I've got a teammate that I've worked with a lot over the years who sort of tells me how good Western Australia is, but never seems to show up in the results. But it was really interesting to see the Sharpie Nationals and see how well South Australia went compared to the Western Australian, shall we say.
Well, where was your mate Payno? He was 10th, right?
I think he was there. Solid. To be honest, what I saw on SailWorld, they only listed the top 5 bison, so I didn't see him on the list, and I didn't dig deeper into it. But it was great to see another South Australian win.
Yeah, no, bloody good regatta that. We did cross tax once with Payno. It was about 3 meters after the start line.
Did you rip out a bit of banter?
Mate, well, now, put it this way, solid performance in States night. For those that know, they know.
I think I got a few texts that night. I have to say, one of my fondest experiences of sailing in Port Lincoln was a frostbite one year. And as most people from South Australia will know, the great Tom Crabb was there. and I was sailing a cherub. He was sailing a Sharpie, and he went sailing with his ping pong bat every day, and he had the red and green, and he'd hang it out if you could cross or if you couldn't cross.
That's a new style.
Oh, such a good regatta.
Oh dear.
Hard sailing when you're a crab.
Yeah.
You have to have a ping pong bat, you know.
It is some good stories. So I do want to say, one, it's good that you're asking us questions, because I think that's pretty bloody cool, because that opens the whole conversation up. So that's good. But two, I've got to say, Tyson, I see, you are such a professional speaker these days, my friend. Like you've got it on lock, like you could be a politician. We can throw anything at you and you'll clearly deliver the message. You'll step around the little bombs that we're loading for you, and you're just so good at it, mate. It's amazing to watch.
I'm just waiting to see what he's leading into here, boys.
Yeah, here we go.
Well, yeah, as you said, guys, he's fishing. Well, before he was using a rod and a line, now he's got a net.
What about, with culturally the difference, like you've spent a lot of time in the States now. And as you said, obviously we've all known each other for a long time, and sort of that South Australian banter, which, apologies for those not from South Australia, but it is, that shared experience. Culturally, if you're seeing, like you've got young kids, I don't know if they're into sailing at all, but what do you see that's different in the States about, as trying to come through as a youngster, comparative to your experience as a youngster in being a yacht club, your little rat running around at a yacht club since day one?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, because I was actually at the Pensacola Yacht Club last weekend, and I was telling some stories about, our home yacht club that a lot of us, grew up sailing at, the CYC in Adelaide. And I think a lot of that's similar. Like, to be fair, Jordan, like, as a family, and, I've got 3 kids now, 9, 7, and 4, and an amazing wife that's busy chasing those kids quite often. But we noticed the biggest difference in Barcelona, to be fair, more than here. Like, being in a big city like Barcelona with the kids, it was hard for them to have an upbringing, like we did in South Australia, running around on the beach, playing in the parks, as opposed to Pensacola is very similar to what we all had, at home. And we live in a great community here in Gulf Breeze, and our kids are playing sports at the rec center, and we go down the beach and they run around. And so I would say that the upbringing here is quite similar to what I had at home, which I love that, because I think being a kid these days, and with all the challenges out there, is quite tough, and being able to drag it all back to the roots of, running around in a park, whether it be kicking a soccer ball or a footy or running on a beach, is certainly something that I want for my kids. When I think about sports, it's interesting. Like, when I was a kid, it was there was 2 options that my father gave us. And with my kids, I've been sort of like, okay, what do you want to play? And I certainly didn't play any soccer growing up, but both my girls love soccer. My son, Jordan, he
my favourite,
sort of plays soccer, but I know.
That's what he's been fishing for.
I know.
Hang on a second, wait, what? That's,
yeah.
How do you feel, Jordan?
I've known him for a long time, since day one.
Did you ask him, Tyson, or
he paid me for it, BP? That's why I invited him back on the show, to give him a love plug. But so none of my kids are sailing at the moment,
right? And
they're all swimming and doing other sports. And every year I say, okay, you want to do sailing camp? And they do sailing camp in Barcelona. But I'd love to get them sailing, but also at the same time, I sort of want them to make their own mark and take on whatever sport they decide. And as I say, my girls are really into soccer. Soccer is huge in the United States these days. And, for the boys, obviously, they're all playing a lot of football down here. But I'll sort of support whatever they do as long as they play sport, because I think too many kids these days aren't playing sport. And I'm so big on team sport, because people need to learn, when you're in a team sport, it's about you and your teammates. And I think so much that, we learn over the years from being in a team helps you so much with life. And so hopefully they get into sailing at some stage, but right now they're not sailing.
Wow. Sailing as much as their dad is.
Dicey, back to the old team thing. There's no I in team.
Yep, just an M and an E. That's right.
Yeah. Exactly. We'll be fine as long as we do it my way. No, it's just jokes.
No, it's cool. Obviously, if you're able to sail more, they might jump onto it a bit as well. But I've really never noticed. I think you've got 2 girls and a boy. Bossy's got 2 girls and a boy. BP's had the 2 girls and forgot to have the boy, sort of thing. So it seems to be the sailing way from South Australia. Interesting.
Maybe if BP has a boy, he'll call him Jordan as well.
There is no chance.
I think he was going to call him Tyson.
No.
There you go.
Geez, it'll be a difficult birth with a head the size of that.
One of the now that I've got you relaxed, are there any projects that you're working on that you want to discuss?
We got a lot of projects going on in the shed, and a lot of exciting ones, and hopefully we can discuss them, in sort of the next 3 months. But nothing at the moment that we can discuss today.
Okay, all right.
Damn it.
Sorry.
The guys at the Newcastle Cruising Yacht Club next door are going to be listening to the show, waiting for something, and they're going to just be let down. I got a few new listeners last night, and they're all excited about this American Magic news, and oh well, shit.
So from the perspective of, I'm aware there's a bunch of projects, like
You're still going.
No, I'm not trying to drag any secret information out. Tyson will let us know as soon as he can. But AMS,
you guys will get the first tip off.
That's right. That's exactly right. With AMS, there must be, there are people coming to you and you're doing full project development. So there could be boats coming through the shed, basically. So there, as far as I'm aware, there are some really cool things that are sort of happening in the background. And that's one of the things that this whole new facility is going to be able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's so unique because of you can take something from an idea on a piece of paper to a design office, to a shop floor, to the water, all at one facility. Yeah. And I think that's really what stands it out. And obviously, whether it be your project manager or your team owners coming down here, I think this is going to be somewhere that people are proud to come to. And one thing that we've noticed a lot in the last 12 months, going around to a lot of facilities in the US, like a lot of the boat yards really haven't changed in the last 15 years. And when I say haven't changed, they haven't changed the look of the yards. They haven't changed a lot of the technology in the yard, as opposed to if you look at like the aerospace industry constantly leveling up. And I really feel like this yard, what we've put together here in Pensacola is second to none. And ultimately, it's a facility that people are going to be proud to come into and say, okay, my boat was built here, or, I did this modification to my boat here, and to be able to bring, their guests and their partners down to the facility to see it.
I want to see an imprint on every transom of the Star Spangled Banner. That's exactly what you want. Proud.
Could be an option. We're really open-minded, Bicey.
Absolutely.
That's the beauty of Pensacola.
It's an interesting point, Tyson, that you sort of made. From my memory, like maybe in the 80s or so, I remember, yachting or sailing was the pathway where a lot of new development of sort of composite structures happened. It wasn't in the aerospace industry. It was like dinghies, skiffs were being made, or some sort of dinghy, and they were experimenting, in the development classes with a lot of different materials, and then that flowed on through, and now that's not happening so much anymore necessarily. You're saying the aerospace are doing all the sort of new development, new tech, and maybe with this project you'll be able to bring that back. Sailing is the leading.
Absolutely, and that's our goal. And if you look at certainly around the United States and New Zealand, a lot of the big composite yards are predominantly now doing aerospace because there's such a big demand in that industry. But, we think at the same time we can execute on those projects, but bring in some cool sailing projects to the facility, because ultimately people work for an organization like this because they want to be challenged and they want to learn and they want to do something cool, and they want to look at a shop drawing that is different. Okay. And so being able to bring these projects in, whether it be a monohull, multi-hull, foiling, non-foiling, and look at something that is different, and to be able to think, okay, how can I do this better than the last one, is sort of the culture that we want to build around here. And so I think there's a lot of great opportunities coming through here, and I look forward to, hopefully later this year announcing something. and Jordan, I will definitely call you.
Yeah, I'll just highlight, Tyson, and for the listener, I've let we've played on the maritime side, having a bit of fun about little secrets and stuff like that. But in my real life, my real job, my exposure.
You actually have a clearance.
Well, that's right. But all the aerospace, there's plenty going on there that I'm very much aware of, and I've certainly left that alone. So whilst we're having fun here, so aerospace and what you're alluding to in the background from those words, we could get into that, and that could be a crazy conversation, but you obviously wouldn't, and I wouldn't do that to you. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the announcements that we can talk about in the maritime space. That's given that this is a show. And I think, I'd love to ask you some questions about how it's going to look and how it's going to work, but I can't.
Why don't we step back a little on an announcement that we do know about, and that was American Magic not taking part in the Cup.
Yep, come on.
We kind of alluded to it earlier, but it's not a decision taken lightly, number one. And two, where do you see the health of the Cup, having been involved in it for such a long time?
Yeah, I love the America's Cup. I spent so much of my life, and I think the event's amazing. I think the boats are so cool, and I love the innovation that is always there. And ultimately, I'm sure the event in Naples will be an amazing event. But it just, wasn't right for our team. And there's so many great opportunities in the sport, whether it be at, that sort of grassroots level, or at other areas at the top of the sport, that for us, it sort of became a decision of, okay, what's best with the values of the organization and what's going to put us in the position of where we actually want to be in 5 years' time. And it didn't work out for us this time. Now, I'm not saying that, that's going to be the case for our team forever. But certainly, obviously we're not going to be involved in this one, but we'll be watching it closely. And I'm super excited. It's great to see some of these teams that have, been working since the last America's Cup. And it'll be really cool to see, okay, reusing the old boats. I think that's a fantastic idea, because ultimately we've got 3 America's Cup boats actually sitting outside here that, most probably will never touch the water again. And so turning it to an event that you go, okay, well, let's reuse and refine these boats, I think is a no-brainer. And I'm super excited to see what some of these teams do with those platforms, with the small amount of changes that you can make, and to see what developments they make. And yeah, I think about it, a lot, obviously from the team side, and then from a personal side, what's it going to be like watching it? And I think that the biggest thing is, like Jordan talks about, announcements and secrets. And so the biggest thing for me is going to be, okay, seeing those boats roll out the shed and what developments have they made,
understanding what they've actually done. Yeah.
And thinking about it. And that's what I love most about the America's Cup. We all come from grassroots sailing, and we love the sport of sailing. And there is nothing better than seeing those new boats roll out the shed on the first day and being like, oh, we thought about that, we didn't go down that path, or oh shit, we never thought about that. And why did they do that?
Damn it, it's going to be a long 6 months.
Exactly.
And they didn't think of that. Yeah.
And then also, I mean, the beauty there is, when you first get on the water sailing and you're seeing other teams, you're like, shit, that boat doesn't look very good, or that boat looks really good. And then seeing who gets there in the end. And, there's some teams that, ultimately haven't looked that good out of the shed with their last 2 boats, but then have got a really good result in the end. So I think, it'd be different sitting back and watching, but I'm excited to watch it. It'll be interesting. And I think of the sport as a whole, like the America's Cup's amazing from the innovation side, and we all love it, okay? But, you look at the footage we've all been waking up to over here and seeing from Perth every day, and you see 13 teams out there ripping around. Like, how good is that? And how cool is that for our sport? Because so many kids are going to watch that and be like, shit, I want to go sailing because that looks so cool. And so I think across the sport right now, it's in a really good position, and it's just choosing which part of it you want to be involved in.
I want to move into admin side after seeing Andy Feathers just talking about the subject. Our good mate Anderson.
How cool is that?
So that's a bit of an in-house joke. The Sandgropers will get it. They'll understand. So.
Yeah.
He was at the bar I was at last night.
Little creatures?
No, I was at Royal.
That's where Jordan is now. Jordan's office, Little Creatures. just came out of a vat of IPA.
Yes.
Jordan, I've got another question for you, another listener question. Are all the old Australian America's Cup legends around the event? Have you seen Skip Lisserman around there?
I haven't seen anyone at the moment, but yeah, everyone's here. Like, people have flooded in from everywhere. The place it was sold out in advance. There's people trading tickets at the moment. There will absolutely be all. I haven't seen anyone. Obviously, we're in the setup phase, but yeah,
pretty cool.
It is.
Super
it is
cool.
Huge.
Have they got a bunch of nets set up along that breakwater?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm worried about. Actually, trying to turn
lee shore.
Yeah. There's a lee shore for everywhere. Everywhere you turn, there's a lee shore, and so the conversations that I've heard is that the boats are fully maxed out on power, like they're dumping power and on the small gear. So on all the small gear, they've been fully dumping power, but the chop has been catching them out. So, the boats, they're sort of trying to work out how not to launch them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so they're sort of going through that whole process, and it has been difficult to sail the boats. I think Spain, I don't know how bad the Spain damage is. So we're recording, it's, as I said, Friday morning. So practice race today and then racing Saturday, Sunday. It doesn't look like it's a full doctor. Like, it looks more of a gradient than the sea breeze, but temperature's down. So I reckon the sea breeze will come over the top. They're actually going to try and compress the racing to the front because, as we know, the wind gets stronger and stronger and stronger as the day goes on. So they're going to try and do...
Especially if there's a gradient involved.
That's right. Yeah. Exactly right. So they're trying to try and make it survivable. So I think Goob's got a little injury yesterday. I think that, as I said, the Spanish did some damage. Obviously, Artemis has launched its space program where they tried to launch... into space,
into the stratosphere. And bunny hop, Rottnest Island.
Draper's got a new Darth Vader mask to wear for the weekend.
Well, I was only thinking about this the other day. I'm seeing these changes progressing all the time. I'm seeing full face helmets coming our way.
I'm seeing more. I'm seeing almost the halo. You look at those old cup boats, and you see people standing in the cockpit. And they've got a big steering wheel and stuff like this. And you look at them now compared to the new cup boats, and they look a bit archaic. I'm kind of feeling this is the next step for SailGP boats, the F50s. Yeah. Like more protection, cockpit protection.
Well,
all those sorts of things.
Did you see the footage of Chris with where he sort of just popped out of the cockpit? It's like the cork popping out of a wine bottle, and then he was just getting flung around on the tramp.
Yeah.
It's quite
just
incredible.
Doing the old face plant on the tramp.
I think they're just gearing up for an outer harbour event, right?
Checking that the trampoline is done up properly.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, that'd be good. In the Port River there.
Beating out the Port River around the channel marker and back down,
Oh,
too many dolphins.
Perfect.
The grandstand would be perfect, wouldn't it?
Marine mammals, boys. We got to pick the outer harbour.
They'll get out of the way.
All right.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, Tice. As you said, you've got this sort of passion from sailing. One of the things I'm wondering, talking about having to watch the Cup this time, would you get the commentary from Australia if you could dial in? Because I don't know if you got to hear any of the commentary that the great Glenn Ashby provided for Australia in the America's Cup last time. Have you heard about Ashby and how well he did?
No, I haven't, but I'd love to hear him. I can imagine a lot of cobbers on there. And I think Lenny would be classic. And I have to say, imagine a commentary like a bit like the Ashes if you could get Lenny and Freddie Carr together to do the racing. That would be gold, wouldn't it?
I see Freddie's getting around the around the yard down in Freo. So I'm guessing he's part of some sort of commentary team. You seen him there, Jay?
No, not yet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're day one into the studios. I like it.
Tech site first thing this morning. But yeah, so all I will say, Tice, if you're not involved and you're able to watch, if they get Ashby doing it again, it is. In fact, try and find the footage on YouTube. It is gold, mate. Absolute gold. He's a natural born.
Imagine.
Yeah,
he sure is, and he's a great teammate.
Yeah. All right, well, I think we might let you go because I know you got another meeting to go to. I can see your phone going off and emails happening as we're doing this. But so first, tick to yourself for not giving away the big secrets. Two, you little bastard. And then, if we could, actually, there's 4 things. So 3, if we could work out when Barkarati can come and take the F50 for a sail, that would be great.
Yeah, that's high priority.
Yep.
I've got another one to add, so I'll have a 5. Go on.
Okay,
4.
and 4 is, I reckon we should get, there's 3 unused America's Cup boats sitting in Pensacola. I wonder if we could get our listeners to contribute ideas of what you could do with them. I'd be interested.
Cool. I like
Here's 5.
Okay.
Here's 5.
5?
You said that they may never see the water again. I think one of them will, and I'm putting forward the proposal, Barkarati barge.
Mate. Great idea.
Just take the foils off.
If Doug doesn't go for that, something's wrong.
Mate,
that's the proposal.
3 lazy boys and Esky and an umbrella and American Magic just floating around out there. How beautiful will that
be? Great idea. I'll get the guys to wheel it out the Savo.
Get it ready. Just get it ready.
Unwrap her. Hey, well, thanks, fellas. I really appreciate you having me on. I love the show, and I think it's so great to hear my 3 South Australian mates chatting with everyone around the world. And Jordan, I look forward to hearing your feedback from SailGP, and it looks like it'll be an exciting event.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I can't wait. And we look forward to seeing the involvement with American Magic and SailGP going forward.
Yeah, shit up. Nice
awesome,
work, Ty.
guys. Thank you so much.
Chat soon, mate. Catch you.
Ty.
Tice, man doing a lot of important things. I see why they've got him in his position. He gave us nothing, the little bastard, nothing. I thought we were going to get some secrets. Bryce, what do you think about that? I made allegations that, you've got to know all these things and you can't talk about it. Anything you want to reveal?
Yeah, quite a no comment.
Very good.
I mean, let's put it. I'll put it into my world perspective. When we're doing a rig for someone, we try and build a rig, but build it in like you're setting up an America's Cup team.
Yep.
So it's all about collaboration. And these teams are at this level where there's no excuse to not win. And essentially what American Magic are bringing, they're taking that element away. You've got the best of the best, access to the best builders, best designers, the whole in-house, the one-stop shop. It's bloody cool. I love it. Great concept.
I wonder, for Tice, right? Like there was all sorts of banter I was going to go with, and I elected not to go with. But I wonder, like if you're working there and you go, oh, okay, I want to go down the gym, and then you go and use the gym at the facility, and there's some of the best sailors in the world in the gym. It must be an amazing sort of experience. You just wander down and there's people just, grinders ripping out huge sets. It's be pretty cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah, I like it. And hopefully I should be there coming up pretty soon, actually. So,
in the gym downstairs?
Yeah, definitely in the gymnasium.
Yeah. I wonder if the American Magic team have, seeing they're looking to do the most cutting edge solutions for and running a big business. I wonder if they've thought about coming across to Disruptor Marine Marketing, and so if Tyson wanted to go out and have a bit of a sale, they could use just our friends at Disruptor with the AI receptionist to cover business while they're out sailing. That would be the big solution. If you perhaps are in a marine business and are trying to fit everything in, maybe just go to disruptormarinemarketing.com.au and have a little bit of a trial and see what it offers, because it might be a game changer for your business. You could actually do more sailing and grow your business at the same time, which is like the wet dream, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And, I think this whole thing is coming, and get on board and give it a crack, because I reckon it's the way forward.
Yeah, it is very, very cool. So disruptormarinemarketing.com.au is all you have to do is go and jump on the website and try their demo, and you'll see the changes it can make for your business. So I don't know why you wouldn't. It'd be pretty. It's pretty simple solution. So give it a go. Very cool. There's a lot going on, obviously, this week. SailGP is massive, but it has been massive here in Western Australia. Like, gee, there's some stuff going on in West Oz. It's so much catamaran stuff going on, because the F18 Worlds are about to start. So I went out for dinner last night with two of our show's favourite people, Cam and Susie, the Hobie 16 World Champions.
Did they take a photo of you and hang it up in the bar?
We're at the Royal Freshwater Yacht Club.
Oh, that's even perfect. Put it up at Andy's bar. Oh, yes.
It's bloody good. Just before you go on, Jay, I don't want to change the subject, but I was actually out with Ian and Annika Thompson last night. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So
friends of the show.
Reaping the rewards of Baccarat.
Boys,
I'll tell you who I was with.
Your kids.
Coxie. Yes.
Dear.
He's coming on the show.
It sounds like...
Oh, he's on in spirit every week. Believe me.
Yeah.
It sounds like...
Sorry, Jay, go on. As you were, back to the West Oz.
No, as you were, Jay.
Just before I go back to that, it sounds like the three of us need to go and get our Radix Nutrition breakfast sorted out as well.
Bloody oath, I could tell you that right now.
We worked out some great solutions for Radix in our conversations, but obviously with the travel, we were talking about that, Cam and Suze, like when they just did a run across the Nullarbor to grab a Hobie Wave, and I'll tell you why, and brought that back to Perth. But using the Radix, the way they travel, they've told me they do a big download of Baccarati, and they reckon it is just the perfect thing, and they love it. Like, so they do, they went 4 days straight, drove across to Adelaide, picked up this Hobie, drove it back, and had, just rolling shifts. Not
a good place to fall asleep in the middle of the Nullarbor.
No, that's right.
That was the conversation last night.
But yeah, the Radix is the other solution. If you want to have a good meal while you're actually doing the dinghy run, travelling across Australia, they've found that it's been quite good. So one of the things, like we went to Royal Freshie, which is like, if you haven't been there, people, it is in Perth. Perth is a beautiful city, active city, a place if you want to do things, it's unreal. There's heaps going on here at the moment, but God, Freshie is such a beautiful yacht club. It is such a beautiful yacht club. So if you get a chance, definitely take that one. So they bought this Hobie Wave, boys, and what they do, West Australian Hobie fleet, like if you're doing the nationals and stuff, they've just got some Hobie Waves on the beach for the family and kids to be able to go out sailing. And that has worked off.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and it's working really well. Like I was going through all the photos. We had a lot of photos last night where we're looking at Hobie Waves, and I was going to talk about the Mexico thing as well, boss, how they've got, that love for Mexico that you do, and they've been doing some sailing off the beaches. But the Hobie Wave thing where, so everyone's out racing, but the kids and the partners that maybe are trying to occupy those kids, the kids are loving it. So the Hobie Wave has been going. So that's what they've been doing. They've been buying up the Hobie Waves and they just leave them, and association boats. And so, they're creating a love for sailing in the kids on a boat that looks like the boat that mum and dad are sailing, or one of the...
Amazing.
Yeah. It's...
What a cool thing.
It is
well
very
done.
Cool. Yeah. Very, 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 very cool. You know what? There's plenty of cool things starting to happen at the moment. It's from our yacht club, Tyson just kept mentioning Cruising Yacht Club South Australia. One, Mr. Bice used to be the Commodore. The Flying 15 Nationals are on there at the moment. Yep. Just thought I'd mention that. The 18-foot skiff Nationals are on this weekend. So I think Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So if you're a viewer or interested in seeing some of the 18s as they build up for their worlds, they're on at the moment. And VX1s are up at Royal Queensland Yacht Squadron, RQ. They're underway at the moment. I think Sailor Girl herself, Nick
Contenders
Douglas,
are underway, right? Or are they done?
Contenders just finished off, I think. Oh, no, the last races, 2 more races today, I think. So we'll touch on to that in a sec. But, yeah, it's so much sailing. Down under, plenty of sailing coming up. Tyson was saying how good the industry is, and, it seems to be going well. I wonder, at grassroots level, small clubs, we still haven't got a full program, like it's not perfect. But what I'm going to try and do while I'm here, boys, remember we talked about that program where they were going to include sailing into the school curriculum, the STEM program. Remember,
yes.
Jess? Yep. So I'm going to try and catch up with Jess while I'm here and understand it a bit more. And, yeah, I think I've been bantering with Pagey, the CEO of Australian Sailing, because remember when he was on the show, he was super into it. So we're going to try and find out, because that could be the pathway to growing our sport, and that's why Barkarati exists. So I'm going to try and make time to see Jess while I'm here and get our head around that. And I think we'll come back to the listeners on that one, because a lot would be interested.
Yeah, good comps.
Yeah.
Good comps.
Yeah, loving it.
Yeah? Cool.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it. All right,
Yeah.
So should we, listeners of the week? You guys,
Listeners of the week. Let's go.
Jack Lloyd, listeners of the week, brought to us by our friends at Vicabia. For if you're looking for some really cool gear, Vicabia are doing some amazing thing. Their bash helmets are out now. Bump helmets, that's the word. They look really cool.
The bump helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool looking.
Did Pat get in contact with you for some sizing information, or
you know what?
You just wear a normal hat and it's like, why are you wearing a bump hat? Oh, hang on.
Pat hasn't got in contact with me, but several listeners have reached out and said, Jake, can we talk about head sizes? Can we make sure that we're us blokes are catered for? So they've actually asked me to lobby on their behalf. So the large head size humans, we need to come up with a name for that one. Large head humans have been reaching out to me. I've been getting some good communication. So, cool. Have you boys got any emails you want to discuss?
Standing by.
Well,
standing by.
So Charles Dennison has come through, and he wants to just talk about the new Olympic scoring system that they're going to try and throw that out. So it's not sudden death, but it kind of is. Sailing classes get put through the randomization matrix to get the scores at the end. I have to ask, why, oh, why sailing? Oh, to get viewership. Let's come back to all things we share with golf. Previously elite reputation, previously struggled to get youth involved. The sport is all about consistency across a variety of conditions. Why don't we share? We haven't grown like golf in the last 40 years. We are completely turning ourselves inside out for viewership. We don't have 25% of the population playing our sport. We don't have sponsorship money overflowing into our coffers. Is golf exciting to watch? Maybe golf is a data point pointing to the fact that participation numbers and viewership are far more than the other way around. So how much of a role does the aspirational element from TV really drive golf numbers? Or have a look at how climbing managed to create speed climbing as a separate discipline without completely redefining what their real sport is about, e.g. bouldering and lead.
That's an interesting point, that one. That's because I love that speed climbing. I think it's a super cool thing to watch on the Olympics.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite things. I'm with you, BP.
Yeah, and I'm sort of looking at this from a SailGP point of view. That is what sort of was touched on with Tyson as well. The SailGP is creating that, but that doesn't mean that it's creating the grassroots. And it's a good conversation to have, because it's all good and well. You watch SailGP. Is it making kids go sailing? Well, that's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah. My personal view, I've never liked the gold. I've never understood the gold medal race. I've never understood why we do it. Mad respect to David Tillett, who's listens to the show regularly, and I think may have been the architect back in the day. I understand why World Sailing did it, because the amount of money that comes from the Olympics and is based on how much TV viewership you get. We all know that the idea.
And we all log on for that gold medal race, don't we?
Yeah, and the idea of the double-handed race at the Olympics, that was all about driving income for the sport of sailing. So was the event that went for 2 weeks. That's just non-stop sailing. That's it. That was the whole thing. So, yeah, that's exactly right. It's just, so the reason sailing's turning itself inside out at the Olympics is because that's where the funding comes from, basically, and so they're trying to work that balance, and so, I hate it. I hate it because that consistency of level. So, with that email, just trying to look at it from different ways. Thanks, Charles. We got Shane Young coming in. Just to remind
Young Barnacles, check them out, YouTube.
Yeah. Did you want to run with that one, or you want me to go with that, bud?
Well, Shane and Anna, no, basically, without reading the complete email, but basically the Round Australia race is coming back. A race that had its controversies back in its day.
It did have its controversy. It did.
Set up by our own Don McIntyre. And I believe he got sued or something. There was a fatal accident. He got sued as a race organizer. A whole bunch of shit went down. In the end, it all worked out. Well, not okay, but he wasn't in the wrong. But the race is coming back around Australia, which, geez, when would have that last one been? Like early 90s, maybe?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah. Can't remember.
That was the
but Shane explains, it's kind of like for catamaran sailors. This could be the one around Australia. This is the one to aspire towards. Could be a bloody cracker, actually. So we'll definitely be sure to keep an eye on that.
You know who I was on the phone to this week? Xavier Dyer. Old Safe.
Oh.
And he was all.
He enjoyed a brisket at my house.
Yeah, that's right. But he was all fired up about this event as well. So it is quite interesting. I think, from memory, that was back in the day when they were doing the Round Australia. Remember, we had a few series of cats flipping over back at that time, and it might have been tied to this event, I think. But if it could get up and go, unreal. So Shane was just talking about raft racing. He's, obviously the comparison between monoholes and multi-holes, and I don't know. It's a good event. I'd be interested. I hope it does get some real traction. Do I care whether they're in multi-hole or a monohull? Not at all. At all.
Absolutely not.
I don't know what I'd do it on. Well, it depends on what boat BP's got under offer at the time.
I'm offering you a catamaran, but it'll be in the sort of 58-foot range, but it'll be air conditioned.
Air conditioned. Yeah, well, there we go. Now that's what we're talking about.
Mate, you can't go across the top of Australia without air conditioning. There's no way.
You've got to time it exactly right. So anyway, thanks Shane and Anna from Young Barnacles for writing that in. Another one, and they give us a mention and thanking us for, we mentioned them on the show, and now their subscription numbers have skyrocketed. So that is kind of cool. Phil, you're welcome. Reverse curse works in every level. If you do want to win some fantastic Viacobi gear, just send us some message. cheers@barkarati.com, and then you might be in for a couple of $100 worth of gear with just a nice simple contribution. Kia at the moment getting a lot of representation from Bicey. He's doing the full view around the car, showing us everything.
Bloody results for bloody boats. Jeez, it's a shit fight.
It's tough.
Yeah, there's just so much on. It's just so much on to cover in 20 minutes, isn't there? Really, when we leave our guest and try and go through it all.
It's so much. But you know what? There's a reason we have this.
Ole, 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 ole. Feeling hot, hot, hot.
It's hot time with Bice.
Feeling hot, hot, hot.
I feel like he might be stressed. That's why he's hot.
Well, I can tell you it's not that hot here in sunny Newcastle. The southerlies come through, Bicey, through Sydney.
Oh, beautiful. Well, I'm just looking out over the horizon now.
Horizon.
Yeah.
Gentlemen.
Just out my panoramic side view out of the Kia Carnival.
Bicey, are you giving away? You've been practicing speaking in a more proper accent. Are you moving to a UK team? Are you going to be sailing on a UK boat? Is that what we're...
No, my wife got me eloquence lessons.
Elocution lessons.
No, eloquence. I haven't made it to that part yet.
Oh, dear.
Eloquence.
She's like, I'm sick of the Wolverine. Can you give me some eloquence, please?
Oh, God. I think we're going to change the intro.
All right, the hotness is SailGP.
Yep.
100%.
This is what everyone's talking about. Everyone's going to be watching it. It's obviously from our point of view, it's perfect timing. Saturday night barbecue. Watched the first round of racing.
Yeah, good point.
Just sailed out of Perth or Freo.
Yeah.
It's going to be bloody cool. As you mentioned, she's breeze on and has been breeze on, and there's been a few more days training for all the teams, being the first regatta.
Yep. But
not without its incidents, of course.
So the Kiwis have been looking really good because they haven't had to change anything. So they're looking, really good. The Poms are going to look really strong. Obviously, the Aussies like this, so they're the ones that have stood out so far. In the training, it is breeze on. So Saturday looks like fairly strong sou'wester. So we're probably in the teens. But you've got to understand wind in the southern part of Australia is different to sort of, as you go further north. Like it's proper heavy wind, and so it hits way harder here. So
it's like a baseball bat, one would say.
Yeah.
And that's what Chris Draper's face looked like.
Yeah.
He get hit with a baseball bat.
The reverse Joker, I think.
Holy shit. Have we ever had more reactions? I don't know if you guys have your Facebook notifications.
I've had to turn my notifications. Yeah,
she was going ballistic.
I've turned my notifications off. I couldn't deal with it anymore.
I've never turned my notifications on. I'm not interested. I'll look when I'm ready to look. But
well, you won't be surprised, but the photo of the aftermath of
the reverse
something
Joker,
like the Joker out of Batman.
the reverse Joker, I call it, because it goes down. We do everything in reverse.
Well, it's the southern hemisphere as well. I
That's
guess.
right, exactly. Coriolis effect.
But yeah, well, fuck. And what an amazing photo by Outridge.
Yep.
Seeing the boat just launched the Artemis.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of any boat carnage. I haven't read anything
No,
about
Spain.
that.
Spain's done some damage. I'm not sure what it is. I'll find out this morning. But obviously, with the tech team here, they'll be all good. So
all right. Yeah. So at time of listening, well done to the Kiwis, Poms, and Aussies for making the final. Bloody good.
I'm interested how teams are going to play out. You know, like as we've sort of alluded to, it's in Bathers Beach in Fremantle. You basically rock wall on three sides. So, you know, if you...
Well, there's three rock wall boats.
Yeah, rock wall, not rock wool. I'm intrigued as to, you know, with the new T4s, you sort of, if you lose flow, you got to straighten up again, and then you can turn right. I'm wondering, are we going to see, like, there was a pretty gutsy...
sliding.
The Brazilians had to do it in Auckland day one, the first time they were using it, and the windy stuff, and they came around the bottom mark, and it wasn't all looking good, and they straightened up and were heading straight at the wall, and then turned in the last minute, you know. And I wonder if we can...
They didn't kick the back foot hard enough.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Look, everybody's pumped. It's Western Australia's going off. There's the basketball.
It's going to be good. There's a bunch of regattas, as we mentioned earlier, going on, so plenty of yachties around.
As I said last week, the 5O's 400 metres away from where I am, and just between us is a brewery. So it's going to be...
Little creatures will be busy tonight.
Yes.
Oh, flat out.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
So what else we got here, boys?
What else? The
Opties have just wrapped in Tassie.
Yeah.
After a bit of a heavy air, light air start, and now my computer won't turn on.
Walter Healy, I think, on the fish, New South Wales.
Walter takes it out. Yeah, on the fish.
Nicholas Cooper, William Rogers.
Yeah. So these are some names to keep an eye on in the years to come. Obviously, a good big shout out to the niece and nephew, Cleo Patterson and Harley Patterson.
How'd they go?
We still haven't got Cleo on, have we? Maybe we get her on to give us a little rundown on how the Opties did.
Yeah, that'll be good.
So, yeah.
She's looking the goods.
Yeah. So
she comes from the better side of the family, Cleo.
That's right, the Patterson side.
I met your sister, mate. I met your sister.
Oh, no, definitely not. The Patterson side, I said.
Yes.
But 90 boats, that's cool.
Yeah.
Opties are healthy.
Yeah.
Nice. Contender Nationals. Friend of the show, Mark Bulker.
Yeah.
Their last day yachting today, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
And he's currently on top of the leaders board. So is he going to win the most national championships in one season?
In 2 weeks.
Ever happened?
In 2 weeks, yeah. So he's got 11. He's on 11. Jeff Fisher from Queensland's 18 points. Simon Barwood dropped back.
Got it in the bag.
29 points. So Bulker came out day one. He just jumped off the Etchell with JB, and he sailed it like an Etchell day one. Then he switched back into gear, and he's just been smoking ever since. So hard man to beat. He's a good sailor, that boy.
Very good.
Yeah. Well, when you think about it, so remember when we were talking to Cam and Suze, they had, from down that part of Victoria, they had him, so Cam, who's now Hobie 16 world champ, Bulker, contender world champ, and Ashby, all sailing together, coming out of that little club.
That little enclave.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's funny how you get that sort of run out of one spot, but
it's a little bit of something in the water at a certain phase, certain stage, you know.
So, I think it was the chlorine in the water.
Yeah, I'll just run
you. Very good teeth.
It's a bit of a defect, maybe.
I'll just run you through Mark Bulker's start. So day one was 3 races. He got a 2, 4, and a 3. And then obviously he got the etchel out of his system. He's gone 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1 subsequent to that.
What would you say to that as the super coach, Jordan?
He's got boat speed.
Yeah, I like it. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, just turn the interior light on in the here.
He's got boat speed. He knows how to find it. He's done a lot of development. I think he's working with CST and Lindsay Irwin, and they've developed a rig. I was looking at actually his sail shapes in some photos on the Facebook, and he's running like he's just slightly starved on his luff curve. I've noticed in the photo.
Slightly starved.
Yeah, just right on the edge of just like
that's a new one, boys.
Yeah, no, this is going in the book for sure.
Yeah,
the slightly starved luff.
I'm going to go out sailing next week, and I'm just going to say, listen, lads, you're definitely starving that bloody luff.
Sailmaker does that.
Only slightly.
The match of luff curve to the rig is perfect. Like so, Lindsay and CST.
It's just on the starve side.
Yeah.
Fasting. Let's call it fasting. You're fasting that luff.
He's on the Radix nutrition. That's what's happened.
I should shut up.
Oh, that's it.
I should shut up.
That mane is just looking good.
I should shut up. Anyway, what else? Anything else? Anything else, boss?
No, mate. Nothing more.
Cool. Shall we call it?
There's Geelong week coming up. Blah blah blah.
Yes,
a whole bunch of different things. All the Australia Day regattas happening around the nation. And then, of course, looking forward, we've got the Caribbean to look forward to.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. So I might go missing for about 6 weeks. So good luck.
Nothing unusual there, Bicycle. Righto. Okay. Well, let's have a lovely day.
Shut it down. You got some shit to do, BP.
I've got a bit on today.
Jordan, you got at least a couple of hours more sleep before it's get up time, before the breakfast bar's open.
I might
wander out to the Mona Vale golf course.
Oh, nice.
Bloody, I know who you're spending the day with then.
Well, I've just turned around and the owner, young Scott Lawson, he's just rocked up and he's all excited. He's got his wand and ready to go. I've got to put a rig together, a Southern Spas rig together, Bicey.
Oh.
So,
must be Cape Town. Yeah. Copy.
All good.
Very cool.
We're in good shape.
Well, best of luck. By the way, my phone's off.
No worries. We'll never speak to you again. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone.
See you, fellas. See you, listeners.
See you, lad.
Have a great week.
Have a great week, everyone. Radix Nutrition, jump onto their website, discount code BarkerRadix. And remember, disruptormarinemarketing.com.au. Just go and try the free trial.
All the good things. And what's the attitude of that high spot, by the way?
If Bicey's playing golf, does the high spot still work?
No golf. It's all business.
Righto.